Okay. All right, quiz review. On your quiz, you have 2 questions. Because they have so much parts in it, you only have 2 questions, but they're a bunch of partial credits. So even if you don't get everything correct, as long as you get the other pieces correct, it's fine. So there's 3 scenarios. You'll still get 2 questions, but there's 3 scenarios. Be prepared for all 3 because you don't know what 2 you'll get.
Are we going to be like given that P?
No, I will not be describing what P is Q is. You have to be able to identify.
P is the top power, Q is the bottom power.
Good. So first one, let's do this scenario. There's 3 different scenarios where P is smaller than
So you
Q.
wouldn't give us that. You would just give us x plus 1 over x plus
Yeah, exactly. I'm just pointing out what's the different scenarios. So in this scenario, we're talking about a horizontal asymptote.
Which means H equals 0.
Good. Because the bottom is larger, it makes the horizontal asymptote 0.
Zilch.
So let me just use red here. So that means it's going to be a horizontal asymptote right on the x-axis. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is the vertical asymptote. In order to get the vertical asymptote,
0 on the bottom.
good. We set q to 0. So
Negative
0 equals x squared
It's always you set
minus.
to 0 if the thing is.
Yeah. Horizontal asymptote is the only one that changed per question. Vertical x-intercept and y-intercept is what? Oh, go look at it.
It's 3, right?
Wait,
Then
Mr.
9
T,
equals
for every
x
single
squared.
Problem where P is either equal, greater, or less than Q, you always set the bottom to 0.
Yes, for vertical asymptote.
Yeah. Okay.
So then the both is the square root of 9 is positive and negative 3. Remember, it's positive and negative 3. Don't forget that part. So in this case, I'll use blue in this case. You're going to have a vertical asymptote at negative 3.
And positive 3?
And positive 3.
Because it's
Square root. When you square root something on both sides, it's positive and negative. Okay.
Your hand-eye coordination is great.
I've been training all my life. Next one. That's horizontal, vertical. X-intercept.
Just set Y to 0.
Good. You set y to 0, but because we're looking for the thing to become 0, we only care about the top. So we set basically p equals 0.
so just 0 equals x plus 1?
In this case, yeah. X plus 1.
X equals negative 1.
Good. Negative 1 equals x.
So for x, it's always just the top part?
Hmm?
X is always just the top part? For x-intercept, it's always
Yes, yes, yes. It's always
Yes, before you said.
and then green over here. So this is x at negative 1. This is on the asymptote. That's okay. We'll talk about what we're going to do with that.
Why is it on? Oh, it's on.
It's literally on the asymptote. Sometimes that happens, and that's okay. And then,
also shows the problem where it doesn't happen.
yeah, the other ones will show that. Y-intercept is when you plug in 0. So this is when you do f of 0, basically. So in this case,
So
when it
X equals
0 plus 1 over 0
squared.
minus 9. 0 squared
0
minus
squared is just 0 or 1?
does 0. So negative 1 over 9 is your y.
Negative 1.
Negative 9
Oh.
we get around. So negative 1 over 9 is your y-intercept. I'll also use green here. So that means I'm going to hit the y-axis at negative 1 over 9, which is just below, a little bit below the origin. A little bit below the origin here.
Will you like take off points if you don't know exactly where it is?
Hmm?
I think if we get the idea.
Yeah, as long as like, don't put it here. Like that will take a point off. That's in the wrong spot. It should be between 0 and 1.
Yeah,
Or 0 and negative 1 in this case.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how to graph these points? Because the hard part in this situation is like, I don't have a point here. I don't have a point here. I have no clue how my curve goes. So one of the best things you could do is literally pull out your calculator. Take the equation you had, which was x plus 1 over x squared minus 9.
Oh, we can do that?
Yeah. So x plus 1.
I took a picture in case you didn't believe me.
X
He's not
squared
recording
minus
for the
9.
FBI. He's recording for our Google Classroom.
It was way more quiet when you weren't here.
Bro,
So
they're gonna think this is an
Leave,
artistic
leave.
classroom.
I'm
What
sorry.
are you
we're
guys
discussing,
doing?
we're discussing that fight.
Empty. I was so mad.
It's okay, man. I'm just trying to teach.
I go
okay?
back to the next batch.
Stein, you want to ask him about the fight?
It didn't happen. You don't fight. Why are you lying?
-9.
That's what send her. What did you
Okay, so I just typed that into the thing.
First winner.
If I graph it, you'll see it looks like this. So that pretty helps us graph it. You pretty much could get the graph, but if you want to be very specific, I could pull out
What equation did you put in?
literally this equation that I started off with. So that gets me the graph, but you might not get the exact points, so you could always click second table. So let's say if I wanted, oh, by the way, why is there an error at -3?
It would have worked.
Because
It's on
that's
the
what the
asymptote.
asymptote is.
Good, perfect. That's where our asymptote is. Also at +3. So in this case, over here, I can see -4 is at -4.429, which means it would be somewhere like here. So I
How
know
do you do this without a calculator?
you would just have to actually plug in -4 into this and into the math.
Where would you get -4?
You need to pick something left of the blue line here. So -4.
What if you make two
So using
thingies
calculator,
with the
it's
x and y
easy.
intercept?
It gives you the graph.
Say that one more
No,
time.
I'd
Two
rather not
separate
use a calculator.
hyperbolas with the
All those
x
numbers
and
I'm gonna
y
get
intercept?
Yeah, but you want to make sure you get
There's
for one.
this is technically one whole function.
Why are you
Yeah,
looking
but when
at me?
you make the hyperbola with the x and y intercept first,
So when you say the hyperbola, what are you talking about?
the thingy, I don't know.
Because a hyperbola is like a oval or something like that.
Oh, so yeah, the thing that looks like it.
This part, the middle, or the two sides?
Two sides.
Okay, the two sides. I would put a point here. Like if you were to do it by hand, I would do f of -4. Plug that in. You'll figure out it's like
Squared minus 9, that's to find.
negative over negative. That would be a negative value somewhere here.
Wait, Mr. Total, for x squared minus 9 equals 0, you're using that to find the vertical asymptote?
Yeah.
And then, wait, so what would you do with 0 equals? Oh, that's the x intercept.
Yep.
So vertical asymptote is bottom and x intercept is top.
hmm
So what would you do for the other?
So
Like, okay, for that one, you had to do it. Can you go back?
Yeah.
You have to pick a number on the.
like on the left side.
And
Then I would
for
pick.
the other asymptote.
Probably I would pick something here like -2, and I would pick something here at +2, just to see where all this is.
How do you know
Now-
that's-
But when you see it's greater than
But if you see this, like, why, go over and go hard on this? Just like literally copy it down. You already have the important parts here. So when you make your curve, yeah, that works. Just make sure you cross these important parts that are here and draw it basically to the same. Steiner, this is important to you. You need to show all the pieces, not just the picture of the final graph.
It's in graph though.
I'll say,
That's crazy. It's in graph.
I'm just reminding you. Just okay.
So wait, Mr. T, you want a point on the left side and the right side, include also the middle side? Like
No, I'm saying that's how you do it without a calculator. But if you have a calculator, make your life easy. Just draw the shape.
But do you want us to have the other two or just the one?
I want all these 4 things. I
That's
want
all
these,
You want.
and I want the graph at the end. But the graph at the end, you could do the easy part by just graphing with the calculator.
So I only need the one in the middle.
On the quiz,
What do you mean? What one in the middle?
Like you see the one that's in between the asymptotes, all that one long one.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
No, I need all 3 pieces. That's the whole graph.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
on the quiz, can you give us like graph squares so we don't have to make it?
Yeah, you have grid lines. Yeah. All right. Any other questions before I go?
Okay, so then the vertical asymptote is like this. And how do you know that it's HA and not slant? Because it's x squared on bottom and root x squared on top.
The third example will be a slant one, so we'll talk about it when we get there. Okay.
But wait, but just if it's x squared on bottom and x on top, then it's horizontal.
So this is where the P, the top part, is smaller than the bottom, the Q. So when that happens, it automatically is 0. Your x-intercept is 0, okay?
Wait, where'd you
Or your horizontal asymptote is 0.
Where's the y intercept?
The y-intercept
Yeah.
happens to be at -1,9.
So how do you graph that?
I put that green dot right here. I don't know. Let me put a different color, I guess.
Are you gonna give us one where the horizontal
Purple right here.
number is actually something?
Why can't I just assume where to put the curves?
You could just assume, but I know how to assume it correctly. There's no way I could actively teach you, so just use the calculator too. Like, I don't know. I would not know how to teach you in a way that's like reasonable. Okay.
So why are you gonna give us also graph
I mean, this just came a fraction. Like, it's not something you can't
It
handle.
doesn't necessarily make
So
a
what do you
difference.
base
Yeah, yeah.
What do you base the curve off?
Just know where
What?
you're
What do you base the
going.
curve
You know
off?
what I mean?
Graph it on your calculator, just follow the curves.
Oh, so I don't need to know anything.
Wait, what
If you need to, plug points as many as you can to figure out the curve. If you need to, but if you have a calculator, just use a
putting
calculator.
this in as?
When you put it in the calculator, what do you actually write in the calculator?
I put in the original equation I received. So I did in parentheses x plus 1 divided by in parentheses x squared minus 9.
So like the fraction.
Yeah, literally the equation I give you.
Okay.
Wait, so-
It graphs. It knows to graph 3 different lines.
Yes, all three parts of this is important to the graph. That's relevant to the graph. That is the graph.
Then how do you get that first? You press.
Oh, y equals, and then you
And
set
for
it
the
there.
physical shape, you're just literally putting it into here.
You could graph it and follow the shape.
Can you teach me with the calculator how to do that?
The what?
Just to get to that part.
You click this button on the top left. That would be
I
y
don't have
equals.
that calculator.
You have to bring in your calculator.
Can I use your calculator again on the test?
What?
Can I use your calculator again? Or whichever
I have
one?
this type of calculator.
That one.
That,
Can I use
yeah,
that one?
those are the same thing.
Can I use that one on the, no, can I use that exact one?
Okay, can you teach
Yeah,
me?
if someone doesn't take it first, yeah. If not, you could always borrow a calculator from the front office. You just trade in your phone
Can you go back to your drawing?
for like how long you need it for. Y equals.
Mhm.
Let me clear all that. And then I just put parentheses x
No, I
plus
used that
1
when I-
Where'd you
divided.
get X from?
This is button causes x.
Oh, okay.
Then another parentheses. You got to put another parentheses. Makes it easier. X squared minus 9.
Minus 9, close parentheses.
Close parentheses. Graph. Now this one doesn't look as nice, right? So sometimes you can click zoom 6. If there's something wrong with, like if you're having a hard time seeing the calculator itself, tell me and I'll help you out, okay?
This one looks nothing. Oh, okay.
You kind of see it. Like that one is just a better calculator.
I know
So.
that is the one.
That is the one.
Oh.
That's what
Oh,
I'm
that's
saying.
too zoomed in, but
That's what we were doing all last night.
I was only having
Zoom 6.
yeah, I put zoom 6. Maybe you put zoom.
So, but wait, can you go back to your calculator?
Oh, that one looks a little bit better, but what's up?
So let's say this shows me on the test and I have no clue what it means. Would
You
just
come,
tell me?
yeah, bring it to me and
Well,
I'll
I'll
fix
just
this.
do it.
Yeah, because that's operating calculator,
Mr. T,
not.
do I have to put a line through the X and Y intercept?
What's up?
For the X and Y intercept, could I just?
You definitely have to graph those points where they should
I'm
look.
saying you have to put a line through it.
The line should hit through it because that's a point on the function.
I mean, you just like put the point on. You don't have to.
I put the point on and then later put the line through it. The line should hit the point. If it doesn't hit the point, you did something wrong.
Should I
Both
bring?
points.
Should I bring?
Every point that you find, yes.
X and Y.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I get the chart?
Should I bring?
The
extra
chart,
colors?
second graph. I'll give
Should
it-
we bring extra colors?
Colors?
Like, do you see how you labeled it?
I'm just doing colors to help it. I can understand what you're doing when you're doing it.
I think I'm gonna do
Wait, this is going in as a quest or a test?
This is a quiz.
Wait, put it in.
25% of a test.
Oh, that's horrible.
It's not that bad.
So if I get a 75 on the test and 25 on the quiz.
That's the best way to describe that. That's better than getting a 25 on the test and a 75 on the
Like
quiz.
100 on the quiz
No.
and a 75 on the test.
When we started this
Let's
year, I
to make it a little easier. Let's say it was 80% on the test and 100 on the quiz. You would have an average of
Yeah.
100 over 125, whatever that is.
maybe he'll read or
Yeah, something like that.
Alright.
What about if I get a 90 on the test and then
Why are you talking like that? What do you say?
what about if I
You're gonna
get
get
a,
them on
no, I got a 90 already.
Yeah.
A 90, a 60 on the test. and
Well,
then-
we do theoreticals after the video, okay? All right. Next one. When P equals Q. When P equals Q.
Wait, are you gonna say this P equals?
I will not say that. There's just 3 types. I'm just pointing it out for the video. So this one, because P equals Q, this is a horizontal asymptote. And you take the coefficients in front. So you take the coefficients in front.
1/3.
So the coefficient here, which is a 1, and the coefficient here, which is 3. So your horizontal asymptote will be at 1/3, which would be just between 0 and 1. Go.
What? No, sorry, right my
He said no or
so-
Go, go, go,
I
go.
didn't say I
Oh.
want. I didn't say like I want.
Oh, you said
No.
My
Here's
bad.
a simple ed question.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much she likes
If
it.
it was just
No, he
regular
does
X
like
on
me.
the top,
See how long I do that?
Yeah.
so then would the H
No,
be
it
zero?
wouldn't be. It would be this situation. So HA would be 0.
Yeah, see how my job is.
All right. Vertical asymptote. You make the bottom equal 0. So 0 equals 3x squared plus
Since the opposite,
2x
then it
minus
is-
5.
This is opposite, kind of.
Right, so
Oh, I
slide
know.
divide nonsense for VA.
Minus 15.
Slide into the HUD.
X minus plus 5. X plus minus 3. Slide and divide. Divided by 3. 3x plus 5. X minus 1. Cut that in half. Negative 5 over 3.
Oh, wait, no, but
1.
if I did want to make you do this stuff? That's weird.
So I have a vertical asymptote at negative 5 over 3.
After class, can you help me with my
Yeah,
question?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if you want to go to this part, then you could, but not gonna do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's
And then a horizontal asymptote, a vertical asymptote at 1.
You have the base.
Negative 5 over 3 is what, like almost 2.
Yeah, yeah. Closer to 2. So,
But now this here is
all right. We want the x-intercepts. So I make the top equal 0.
No, I'm saying,
But how can your vertical asymptotes be negative 5 over 3 and 1? Because they're almost in the same. You put them in the exact same spot.
What's up?
You know what I'm saying?
So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Is that clear on this? Yeah. And then the y-intercept,
Make X 0 for everything.
plug 0 for everything. So 0 squared minus 9 over 0 plus 0 minus 5. So that's a positive 9 over 5, which is about 2, almost 2. So 1x is about 2, so like over 1, 2, like over here.
so it's negative, so it's just 9 over 5.
9 over 5, yeah, which is about 2. So you want to make sure you could change it to decimal so you could graph it.
It's 1.8.
Yeah, which is about 2. That's what I mean. So we're going to graph this. I know what it's going to look like. It's going to look like down here, U down this way. Right there. Yeah, right on the y-axis. So let me plug it in. X squared minus 9 divided by 3x squared plus 2x minus 5. Graph that. Hey, looks like that. Make sure your graph matches the picture here. Let me use green so it's clear, so you can see it on here.
All of them are different.
We better not have like fractions as the VA and the HA on the test.
Why not?
What's
Because
the
then how you just
difference?
graph them.
Plug your calculator.
And you could just and you could just turn it into a decimal. It'll help you graph it too.
5 over 3 is what?
1 and 6 repeating. 1.6
So
repeating.
just put it in between the 1 and the 6? Between
1 and 2, yeah. And they say it's a negative 5 over 3, so between negative 1 and negative 2. Okay. Any questions before I do the next one?
Could you just leave it on for a second?
Yeah, of
so I
course.
finish graphing?
Break it down.
Oh.
I'll be more cheap. Oh, that's okay. Nancy. Nancy.
I got it.
I'll be Walt Jr. You be the king. That's
The crutches.
the crutches.
This girl.
Again, this recorded.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Summer, you good?
Yeah.
All right. Last one
Is this an essay?
is P. It's just one more bigger than Q.
Huh?
P is one more bigger than Q. Very particular.
Any homework for this?
You're right.
Yeah, but how are we supposed to study?
I could post some homework.
No, Allie, what are you doing?
I'm just joking. I'll post some review that's not not required. All right. For this one, horizontal asymptote. But in this case, when when P is one bigger than Q, it is a slant asymptote.
I don't get what that means.
So your asymptote, instead of being like a flat line, is a diagonal.
No, but what does P equals Q? So that means that.
So P is one bigger than Q. Whatever Q is, P is Q plus one.
P is greater than 1.
P is greater than one by exactly one, by one greater. It doesn't work if it's
You
more
didn't
than
even
one.
give us an option for
So
where
P
they're
is
just
greater or
equal
equal to 1.
You didn't give us an option where they're just equal to, like P equals Q.
But you did just last one.
Yeah, P over Q is less
Then
one.
what about greater?
Well, greater would be no horizontal asymptote. I didn't put that on.
No greater.
No, just greater though. So there's only these three options that could pop up.
Oh.
But isn't greater just 0?
What's up?
If it's greater, isn't
No, it doesn't exist here. If it's beyond one.
Oh, so it's not.
No,
Yeah,
no,
so I'm not gonna put that.
It exists, one
Yes.
that-
That would mean that the curve, there's nothing like a so you notice how the horizontal asymptotes, all the curve kind of goes next to the horizontal asymptote? That would mean it just goes to infinity. Kind of like, you know, like a parabola just goes to infinity? Like it just goes up and right? There's, No, no.
It has no.
it has no border, so it doesn't, like the previous one, you can see how as you go right, it flattens out.
Oh, so okay. Fine.
The other, if it doesn't flatten out, it's a non-existent asymptote. There's nothing it flattens out to. All right, this one, it is a
Are you ever gonna give us
Slant
P equals
asymptote.
2 minus 1?
no. Or to be fair, technically what you just said is this what happened, where Q is two bigger than one, yeah. All right, so in this one, it's going to be a slant asymptote. So we're going to use long division to figure out what our new slope is.
You showed us this a million times.
I hope this comes out
I
right.
still don't understand.
So we need to do, what does makes x into x squared? We need an x,
2x, 2x.
just x though.
No, but 2x. Oh,
Uh-uh.
x squared you want.
So x squared minus 2x. Remember, you're going to subtract down.
5x.
5x.
Now
Bring down the
to
-4.
-4. So now you do plus 5.
So you're going to need to make it x into 5x.
So plus 5.
So plus 5.
X minus 10.
5x minus 10.
It's a quiz.
So then 6. 6 is your remainder.
He's trying to just like make it okay.
6.
And you already took
Now, the remainder I actually really don't care about. It doesn't do anything for me. This right here,
just wasted your retake.
this right here is your x plus 5. That's your slant asymptote.
Wait, can you explain how you did that division again? I know we just had a test on it, but I kind of failed.
Ready?
That's the only question I got complete.
Ready? So I first choose, I look at this, and I say, what do I need to multiply to match this thing? So I choose x, right? X times x will be x squared.
Oh, it goes under the X thing, okay, X squared.
And then I have to times this by x also, so -2. Subtract down. 3 minus -2 is 5x.
We graphed.
Then you figure out what does x need to match with 5x,
You're fucked.
and you choose 5.
Put that on before.
That's bring down the 4 here, but this is 5x. 5 times -2, -10.
Wait, so the slant asymptote is actually the easiest thing.
Yes, it is x plus 5. So you graph it like this. You're going to put the y-intercept at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, what's your slope in this case? Up 1, right 1. So up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, right
I didn't
1.
know that though.
Because it's 1/1. X
Mhm.
is 1/1.
And then the opposite, just if you want to make it
What is
clear.
x plus 5? Where does x plus 5 go? It starts at 5y.
Oh wait, it should be a dotted
Where
line.
does x plus 5 start?
Yeah, it's the same thing, no?
That's why.
So
Why though?
So, but why would you say it like that?
I said you're playing 8-ball pool.
Yeah, but like, who says that? So I just call it 8-ball, or I call it pool, like it's never together.
All right, next one is the
Okay.
The-
So with that, you just go one down.
Why is it
up
on-
one, right one,
why is it
or
on
the
y?
opposite, down one, left
Wait,
one.
how? Why would you? Why
Because the slope here, which is 1/1, tells you is your rise over 1. So you rise 1, run 1.
Why is it on a y though? Why is it on a y?
What's up
Why is it on a y?
here? Because the y-intercept is 5. That's your b. If you remember y equals mx plus b, that's your starting point.
Is it always up one? Like, what is it again?
If I were to make it, it'd probably be that, because otherwise it makes the whole other question complicated.
So it's always up one, right?
Typically, yeah.
If you put into the calculator, let's come up.
What's up? The dotted line will not come up. But you'll see how the shape is. It will look, there's a way it looks. So we'll go through it. Yeah.
Okay, on the quiz, are you gonna give us the top part where it says P equals Q?
No.
Seriously?
Yes.
How would you do something like that?
Yeah.
It just means that's like,
No.
It would be obvious.
Abby, I won't grade your test. So that.
Flush and horror now. Parents are gonna hear it. Come on.
All right.
It's not in your test.
oh, you did it.
It's not behind her back. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Vertical asymptote. So vertical asymptote still the same. I set the bottom to 0. So 0 equals x minus 2. 2 equals x. What? Yep, this is the blue line. So x equals 2.
Where I don't get that part. The vertical asymptote, you always set the bottom of the equation to 0 and then solve for m.
Yeah, but x minus 2 is the bottom, so that would be 0 now.
So yeah, 0 equals x minus 2. Solve for
Wouldn't
x
it be
plus
x
2
squared
plus
plus
2.
3x minus 4?
I just told you you set the bottom to 0.
At the bottom is x minus 2.
Exactly.
That would become 0. Oh, you mean like equal.
Yeah.
So you could have just said that.
So 0 equals x squared plus 3x minus 4. So then we solve this.
So it's
Zero.
x equals negative 4 and x equals 1.
Shut up.
Positive 4, x equals minus 1.
Then it's x equals negative 4 and x equals 1.
Mm-hmm.
Not you. No.
What do we do?
I wasn't saying
So, Mr. Cole, the slant, whatever, that's the x plus 5 plus 6 over x minus 2.
yes.
The slant is just the x plus 5, technically.
Then what do we do with the remainder?
We don't actually care about the remainder. Or the remainder doesn't do anything for us in this
Wait,
case.
what's the red dot?
That's the, I should put a
Oh,
color,
negative
x
4.
intercept.
Oh, okay.
And then let's do for our y-intercept. Plug in 0 for all the x's. That cancel out over everything.
Wait, what? All the lines just go.
So then you're just
Negative 4. Okay, 2.
negative 2, which is just 2.
So now on the y-axis.
I make a dot of 2.
That's
Now,
weird.
you can plug in your calculator. If you plug in your calculator, you should get this shape.
That's what I got.
So only one thing.
Yeah, why is it only one?
It's not one loop. It's also this part here.
Keep plugging in. Keep plugging in.
Sure.
Oh.
Where'd you get negative 4? Where's the negative 4 go?
I have to check if this fits in the whole. Let me just put it in the calculator. See. You might have to change the zoom window. If you have a problem with the zoom window on your test, let me know and I'll fix that for you.
Well, how would I know? If I had
You show it to me and I'll tell you you did
Wait,
something
you
wrong
go back
or.
to
So if you don't understand what the graph is showing you,
Oh, if I don't
then-
have two, then I'll have two things on it.
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
you kind of in a sense go up every time you ask it if it's good.
Yeah.
Tell them if it's good.
Not yet. It's a recording if that's what you're asking.
What do you say? What do you say you'll do?
What?
If you don't have, look, here I only have one loop. If you don't have two loops, they go to the market.
You'll show us the other loop.
So I graph this. So you could even me like it doesn't show up. So what I would do here is a zoom, and then you have option 3 is out. You just press enter, and it'll zoom out to show the other loop.
How do you have
Zoom, and then you pick option. If you want to zoom in, is option 2. Zoom out is option 3. You just have to press enter afterwards. Come here.
I'm heading up there as well.
Okay.
So, on 3. Back again.
Yeah, enter. And you just gotta press enter again. Because you're saying, I want to zoom out in the center.
Wait, so there's only two? There's only two?
There should be another loop, yeah. If you only got one loop, something did go wrong.
There's supposed to be two.
Yeah. I'll try to make it so it fits in the first graph.
Wait, can you go back to the other one?
Yeah.
So this is at what?
That gap is probably around 8. This is probably, well, we can actually figure it out. It should be around, this is like 10 or 11 right
I
here.
know. Just thinking.
I don't know, these lines represent one each.
10. Yeah, it's at 10.
Okay, so this is like 11, 12. Yeah.
Because of those friends.
That's my fault. I just made up, or I just used this problem randomly. I'll make sure if it's
But
nice.
if I see it, that I could if I see it on top, I could just know that. It's
Yeah. Like, I know it's going to look like this without graphing, but again, I don't know how to teach that in a way that's like
No,
doable.
but if the graph is on top, then I know that it has to be on top. And
All right. Yeah. Summer, you had a question?
Yeah. So for the
What thingy?
you know that the slope is 1/1.
In this case, I know slope is 1/1 because there's nothing in front of the x.
Wait, because there's nothing in front of women.
When I answered the answer to the long division, it's just x plus 5.
And you did the long division to get the.
Yes, exactly. This will give me the slant asymptote.
Wait, what do you do? You divide the whole problem?
Yeah, you just divide it as it's written.
You do the rest of the problem as normal.
Yeah. So the only thing that changes per question is the horizontal / slant asymptote. No, vertical one you do the same way. X intercept you do the same way. Y intercept you do the same way. Everyone has a vertical one.
Because yeah, I left to come with me, and no one was with Abby.